ladies and gentlemen, give it up.
Hi, my name's Sam Relton and I'm captain of the BZAC Sevens team. From the beginning, it was really a roller coaster journey. There were a lot of ups and downs.
We started training in May, knowing full well it's going to be a long journey till the Sevens.
Well, we started off quite rocky, seeing as we lost a lot of our starting players, including Billy, who was a big loss for us with his kicks. However, Jake quickly filled the role, which really helped in the actual Sevens.
Training didn't start too well with numbers. Lots of really excited younger year groups coming down to training as well. But it was just to get spirits up. So we had a long summer to think about the Sevens, what we're going to do, how it's going to play out. Then we started real training in September, as soon as we started school.
Slightly now, and we'll do 5-on-3s. And I don't mind, I don't want you smashing people or anything like that, but I want you to scrag. It's getting a bit too easy. Not just touch, a bit of scrag. Okay?
Training didn't start too great. Lots of drop balls, lots of misplays, everyone's running around the place. And no one's really sure about their place on the squad.
Whittling down to that 12, that was probably one of the toughest things. And usually it hasn't been that tough of a thing. Usually we've had a limited squad. We've had a top starting 7 or a top 5, but then we haven't really had subs that can come on and finish the game or add more energy or add a different type of play that we want. So I think this year was the hardest year, and Thompson and Thomas had a massive job to decide who that starting 7 would be. And a credit to all the boys that played their part. I think they deserve as much of a mention as us, because they had a massive part in our journey and really pushed us forward as a team. And obviously they don't get the credit they deserve.
You know, as a coaching team, we sat down on a number of occasions, and it's never. We understand the magnitude of the tournament and how much it means to every student in the school that is vying for a place in that 12, and it's the worst thing in the world to have to break news to somebody that's been training really hard that they're not a member of the squad. So, you know, when we announced the squad, we did so, but we accompanied it with discussions with each member that had just missed out on selection.
Selection for the final 12 was staggeringly hard. It shows firstly the quality of the BSAC students and the players, but we found it very hard to whittle that number down. Picking a squad to best represent BSAC was fundamentally the most important thing for us, and we wanted squad players, we wanted team players, we wanted people to buy into what we as coaches were trying to provide. But without the other boys, without the whole squad environment, we'd never have got to that place without them being able to support and push those players that made that final 12 every week, really.
Same team.
Also, when are you doing hammer? I just playing.
Yeah.
1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we need one more. Oh, okay. Yeah, boys, and coach each other in the game as well. Yeah, stay on side, boys, stay on side. Discipline. Yeah, hammer right.
There's many things that you look for in terms of players. You look for obviously skill set, you look for their ability for spatial awareness, but most importantly for me, and I think for BSAC players, is that commitment and desire to not only be a part of the Dubai Sevens, but it's all the other things that come along with it. That's off field, that's, you know, being a good bloke around the school, as I mentioned many times to the boys. Desire to come down to training when there's nobody else watching and you're not getting all the praise. That's when the hard work and the miles are put in.
Look up and count, because sometimes there's like 5 people on tour here and then there's an overlap on this side. Look up, count, who's your man? Talk to each other, tell each other.
So, like, as you can see in attack, we have an overlap, right? So if they're in defence, what they call is a hammer, which is where you mark one and then shift on to the next man. And that's what we're going to be doing a lot in Sevens, because we play with a sweeper, so we're always going to be a man down in defence. So that's going to be the main call. So if Joey's marking me, As soon as I pass it, Joey's shadowing on and pushing Toby out. They're all calling hammer, hammer, hammer.
It's the inside man moving up. So inside man, yeah.
And then say Max and Sasha are in, so they've got 5 defenders against us 4. The other call is
they've
nail.
looked up, they've noticed that they have enough players in D, so they can nail.
So I'll be passing it.
Straight up hard.
Nail.
I get smacked.
Hammer is drift defence. Nail is man on man, pick your man. Yeah, so there's no sessions on Sunday anymore. There's no coaches here, but Sam's called us all together. And he was like, let's just have a little bit of a run out. So we're just playing some like Fijian touch and stuff to work on sevens. Otherwise it's holes. All got together.
And you have to trust every member on your team. Some people are touching one hand. Secret tactic. Someone touches you with one hand, just keep running, alright? And 2 hands or yeah, 2 hands.
We're just playing a casual bit of touch, bit of scrag, shoulder up, Sam likes to say. And what's that doing is just familiarising the boys with a couple of the moves. We're putting more emphasis on the 2 of our defensive calls, which will ensure that the new kids or new players into the sevens style of training that we play get familiarised with the way things work and that they're able to apply that to their game.
Last year being captain and this year I was captaincy went to Sam, which I thought was actually a great thing. For me, I just got to focus on playing and focus on my game. It was really good to see Sam get that role because everyone knows he deserves that role. He's a great player.
Captaincy is a very interesting subject, certainly in a sporting context. And I think there's different sorts of captains. And I think Sam was a really good captain. He's really my sort of captain. That I'm a great believer. A captain has to be first and foremost. He has to be an immediate choice, and Sam without doubt was that. But I think there were very good captains all around. I think it was very lucky that we had Luke Gamble, and I don't think we can underestimate the impact that he had. And he's a very different captain, but he says the right thing at the right time, and I think he's a pretty unsung hero there. And also I think Toby had a big impact in sort of leading the side. And I just think the right thing was done at the right time by those individual players at different parts that they stood up and were counted. I think everybody was stood up and were counted at certain times, but I think it's important to have leaders in all parts of the field.
You've got to be cohesive, yeah? So one person can't call net on, the rest are just wrestling. That's the discipline. We've all got to work hard together and push up as a team, you know?
Yeah, for those 3 days, I've never been closer with a group of boys, and I think that was one of the best teams I've ever been a part of. And to lead it was just an amazing experience.
So when we got down to the final 12, we had a bit of disappointment with some players, sadly. But it was a kind of benchmark of like how we need to get closer with the younger kids coming up into the squad. We had to kind of get them into the group so we can flow better on the pitch. We were so close, like we were brothers on the pitch. Brothers. The BSAC Sevens, it was a long day, and I think truly we didn't play as well as a team in that final against DC, and it stuck, that loss stuck in our minds pretty much until the final, until that tunnel walking out onto the pitch.
So the BSAC Sevens was, I think, probably the most important thing that had to happen to us in our whole journey, because we learned that we had a lot of fundamentals that we had to work on. So going into it, we were confident, but not overly confident. We knew what we could do when we turned up and when we played our rugby. And after losing in the final, we learned what we had to do to play our rugby.
Everything just really fell apart, and we really had to take a seat back and just really figure out what we need to do to get to that next level. I remember putting the date in my phone, thinking that's never going to happen again. We're not going to get embarrassed like that again, because it was pretty embarrassing to lose by that much in the final.
I think it is a stepping stone to Dubai. It's a brilliant accolade for the boys if they do win the tournament. But this year we weren't challenged on the way to the final. We had a red card in the semi-final with Toby, which was just an accident on his part. But we were able to win comfortably in the semi-final with 6 men on the field, and then we come to a very strong DC team that had just beaten on the back of a tour. And we struggled, and I think touring, when you go on tours of any type, you're isolating your rugby, but you're also together as a team, and rugby is very much about camaraderie. And if you've been together as a close-knit group for a week and then come back and play together, it just does something that you can't simulate by a weekly game.
DC just ran circles around us, and it was really embarrassing at the time, and still is. But fortunately, when we started the actual sevens at Dubai, after the first game, our team literally just clicked in place.
Haven't changed, had much to say, but man, I still think them cats are crazy. They were asking if you were around, how you was, where you could be found. I told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. The boys are back in town, the boys are back in town. I said, the boys are back in town, the boys are back in town. Bar and grill. The drink will flow and blood will spill, and if the boys wanna fight, you better let them. The boys are back in town again. Been hanging down at Dino's. The boys are back in town again.
Well, just need to absorb the atmosphere right now. Make sure stay out the sun. Stay hydrated. See as though we've got a game in a couple of hours. We're basically just chilling in our tent over here, staying off our feet as much as we can. I'm under pressure.
Looks like you're wearing a suit. I was. You know the day that I came in the suit? Yeah. I got the email. So I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, to be honest, I was really nervous because I was sure that I would be able to do what I can do in the way of tackling and ruck scrums, all that other kind of stuff. But my handling and stuff, that's a bit iffy. So going in, I was nervous on whether or not I'd let the team down, but thankfully throughout, I didn't. Throughout the time, we got to know each other a lot better. To be honest, Sam says a lot, the brotherhood, really, that we have. We were out on that pitch and giving our 100% of our effort to each other, and from that, we built quite a good trust in each other.
Yeah, I mean, we're all excited. It's been, how long? How long's it been?
3 months, 2 months.
3 months. So we're all excited. We can't wait to get out.
My work is done. It's up to you now to express yourself in that field. Everything we've done over the last 4 months, it's key that you put that into practice right now, because this is where it matters. You will never be judged what we've done up to now. We're judged on how we perform in the next 2 games today, the games tomorrow, and then hopefully we make it into day 3 where we're judged on what happens Myself and Mr. Thomas and Mr. Brammer can do so much in the training field with the boys, but it's down to them on the pitch, and we have no impact on that whatsoever once that first whistle goes. But yeah, you talk about a clicking moment. I can't isolate a clicking moment, but I knew before the tournament, whilst we went in as underdogs on the back of that loss, and then obviously on the back of Desk being very, very strong, we certainly didn't go in there as favourites. Release your energy. Okay. We're excited, guys. We're excited.
Enjoy it. Boys, enjoy. There's two things today. No regrets, no excuses. No regrets. Let's get back to the big work.
Start making your efforts as it goes. Everything now is as it goes.
My calf. I don't know what's wrong with it though. It just hurts.
Me, please.
Throw in centre time. So I'm going to hand you over to the
Try not to make it so tight for you on your foot.
Thank you, Pete, for the second half to come. Mr. Toads on the banking of pitch 2. Give us a wave, guys and girls.
Thank you so much.
We'll do that.
Every game of that weekend, we gave ourselves a new challenge. We challenged ourselves to step it up one more gear every single game. And at the BSEC Sevens we did that, and we let ourselves down. At the Dubai Sevens, we accomplished each one of our goals every single game, whether it be the physicality, the hands, the structure, everything. We did it how we wanted to do it, and that's, like I said, from game one we knew we'd win it.
That's my son, and everyone started laughing.
Once we started knockout rugby, we played against Jess. We actually started conceding a couple of tries. Again, putting us back in our place after pretty convincing wins at the start. After the second day, we only got better and better.
Right, so the morning came, we got to the grounds, and rather than the usual hang around the tent, we went straight to the changing rooms about an hour and a half before. Just because this was finals day. This was it. So the first sign for me that things could possibly go wrong was we went to the changing room number 13, which is not smart to do on finals day because unlucky number 13. But there was something about that day. It was special. The camaraderie was real. We were walking around the sevens with hands on shoulders, showing every other team that we were for real. We meant business. And walking from the changing rooms to the pitch where we were going to play was a very special moment because we looked different than how we usually look. We looked like brothers. So there was a special feeling in the air. We all knew going onto that pitch that nothing could stop us as long as we kept on playing how we played. And then the game started, and it was textbook. It was what we've been doing this whole tournament, what we've been wanting to do this whole tournament. Try, nothing could stop us. And unfortunately, I took one bad tackle, and that was my tournament over. There was a moment, the moment that I found out I was out was the second I got tackled. I was full of adrenaline, so I wasn't feeling anything. But the way I landed, I just heard a snap. A very clear snap, and I let out a shout of pain, even though I didn't feel it. I don't know, it was really weird. And then I refused to accept it. I tried to ignore it. I stood up. There was a scrum. I was setting up in fly half, I was ready to go. And I put my hand up to show where I wanted the ball. And my hand wouldn't go up. I could hear it crunching. And I was like, my heart dropped. And then I sort of went down to my knee and I took a moment. I was like, no, this isn't happening. I stood back up, hand back out, it happened again, and I was trying to call the ref to stop, to take a moment, but he wouldn't, so I just walked off to the side. And my dad, who's the physio of the team, ran to the sideline, and I said to him, it's broken, isn't it? I heard it snap, it's broken. And he was just like, shit, yeah, it's broken. That's what he said to me. And I don't know, I was lying down, he lied me down, and I wasn't fully there. I could not accept that I had put so much into this team to be out in the semi-final, or for me to be out in the semi-final. So I was lying there and it hadn't fully hit me yet, and I was like, Dad, please, just shove it back in place and let me get back on that pitch. I was begging him. I was like, please, do something to let me play. And he was like, Jake, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. You're out. And that was it. There was waterworks. I was so emotional. And there's something very heartbreaking about that.
I think every sportsman knows about adversity. Every sportsman will have played in matches or been in an environment where things don't go right for you. You pick up an injury or something happens that's not gone quite the way that you want it. But I think it's shows the true character of Jake and the boys around him for him to not impact the group in a negative way. The impact that he had was very positive. He was there, he was cheering, he was supporting, he was doing everything that he possibly could to impact the game, which is exactly what he did when he was playing. Slightly different parameters, but due to injury, but his impact was as important as the players on the pitch, because he knew what it was like how proud he was to be in that squad, and everything that he did, it definitely rubbed off on the playing group, and that's what makes rugby and team sports so fantastic.
I don't know why. I think it was on the day in the bus. I don't know why, but I remembered it, and I thought I'll listen to that, and I was really geeing up, so I started singing it. And in the change room before the final, we started singing it as a team with American Carl, which leading in the lyrics, which kind of, I think, calmed us all down.
I think that really summed up what kind of a team we were. We were a team that played with our heads up, played with fun and passion for each other, and just really enjoyed it, and that was the main thing.
So through my head, I'd like to think I was quite calm. I think I was quite nervous. As a team, we were very calm. 30 minutes before we went to warm up, we were singing songs in the changing room. Kyle obviously had his top off, doing solos and stuff. So we were very calm. We knew in ourselves we had the ability to go out and win. So coming off that Alain game, where that was meant to be our first real test, and we blew them out of the water with the way we played. So going into the change room, I think we were all very calm. We were gutted for Jake as well. Obviously he missed out. He's been a crucial part of our team. So it was more of we need to do it for him, do it for ourselves. So I think that's why we were calm. We all knew what we had to do, and then we went from there.
They were just hearing our noise and stuff, our energy, and Sam actually came in and ran in and joined the huddle. It was really powerful. All the boys getting riled up and stuff like that. And then we were all saying what we need to do. We all knew what we needed to do, but Sam, the leaders, coming in and giving that final little bit of encouragement and advice as to how we're going to do it, what we need to do, and getting us all that last bit, and then we lined up.
3 months of hard work, boys, and this is what we do it for now, yeah? Final rugby, we leave everything on this fucking pitch. 14 minutes of pain, boys, that's all we got. That's all I'm asking from you boys now. All together out there, 14 minutes of hard work. Put them to the sword. We don't give them any time. We give them no space, no time. We smash them back, alright? Get them out of the game. First minute's going to dictate this one. Let's fucking go. Let's do it. Anybody say something? Go, boys! Peace out, peace out. 1, 2, 3, peace out! Let's go!
He really was a big big part of getting us motivated for that final. When it came to that huddle, the energy that he put into all of us boys made us realise that it was our final to win. And he puts a lot of emotion into the game. You can tell that he cares a lot. And that really helps when you're a player falling behind your captain.
Just being in the tunnel, just the echoes of the shouting and everything was kind of like a big shock. And just seeing that light at the end of the tunnel was crazy for me.
It was I've never experienced anything like it. Like, you could hear like the voices and shouting outside, and then when you walk down it just got really loud all of a sudden. It was just crazy. Like, you didn't know what to do.
The feeling in the tunnel, that collective, was it makes the hairs stand up on the back of my very bald head at the moment, thinking about it, because you could sense the whole 12, the unity. Although poor Jake had been injured, he clearly wasn't going to be involved in the final. He was very much part of that 12 that went out there, and there was a real sense of unity when they got in the tunnel.
This year I felt all the boys were up for it. We all knew what we needed to do. Everything was in place. Everything had been bang, bang, bang lined up perfectly throughout the tournament. And then I think that helped with the relaxed approach to the big game ahead of us. We were all cheering. We were very loud, and we were a very different team to what they had faced in the BSAC Festival 3 weeks prior. When you run out there, you feel really small. I don't know, it's like a normal rugby field, but you feel very small. 3 weeks prior, when you run out there, you feel really small. I don't know, it's like a normal rugby field, but you feel very small until you get into it. Once you get into it, the adrenaline's gone. You start, getting a bit tired, with running and stuff. It starts to sit down, and then you go, okay, let's go now. It's like, go time.
got white line fever. It's the try that sealed it for the British School of Al Khubairat. They have thoroughly deserved this final victory. It's all over. The Emirates Golf Under-19 boys winners for 2017. It's the British School of Al Khubairat from Abu Dhabi.
Emotion, I saw looking round. Mr. Thompson finally smiled. Never seen that happen before. 12 of us, 10 of us especially, have put 2 years of work into this. Mr. Thompson's been around for God knows how long. So we've just put so much effort and work into doing this. And it finally all paid off. It was just a bit of a reality check.
I didn't believe it. I was overjoyed. I've never been that happy and excited in my life. I didn't really know what to do. I was just shouting, hugging the brothers, and yeah, just I lived in the moment. I can't really recall anything else.
Afterburners, baby! Afterburners! Yes, boys! Hard work, boys! Hard work! Come on!
Presentation being made by Mr. Gary Chapman from Emirates Airline. And what a popular victory this one is. The medals are being handed out. I'm sure these boys will enjoy their mango juices after your Golf Under-19 Boys Trophy winners for 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the British School of Al Khubairat.
And put your roller down, Mr.
Big smiles here. Oh, big smiles. You've just won the 7.
This tournament victory is born out of 3 years of preparation, and you know, from my point, I'm just so proud of everybody involved, and that goes from the players on the pitch to the families and the students of the school supporting it. It was a great day for BSAC in general. The boys coming back to watch their team play, it was just everything, and it was such a proud moment, and I know these boys will take that moment with them for a lot of their rugby career.
It was pretty crazy walking up those stairs to collect the trophy, just with not teammates but brothers. It was just amazing.
Yeah, it's still on. Yeah, we're just excited. I mean, it's been so long, we just can't wait to get out there. With the boys, with the brothers, with the lads. Yeah, alright, see you later, Ben.
Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country
Can we try start Tetris? Like goggles.
Heads, Ben.